You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts now.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters, we're going to talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers because, frankly, it's going to take a little while, a few days, a few weeks, and depending on how the season plays out, the rest of the season to get the stench of Thursday night's loss and really last Sunday's loss and Thursday night's loss. If you're a Steelers fan, you went into Sunday at noon thinking by the end of Thursday night we're going to be 9-4 and we're going to be looking really good in the AFC playoff picture. Instead, you lost to what is now the 3-10 Cardinals and the 3-10 Patriots. Bailey Zappi, a quarterback that did not lead a scoring drive against a woeful Chargers defense, chopped up the Steelers like he was Tom Brady in the first half of that game. It was a baffling 3 days. And you got continued calls now to run Mike Tomlin the hell out of town. A coach that's been there forever. A guy that, look, I'm not going to lie, if he got fired, he'd be rehired the next day by somebody. My guess would be David Tepper in Carolina, who's got ties to the Steelers, probably would be all over Mike Tomlin. Tampa Bay Buccaneers would be another team that would likely be all over Mike Tomlin. But this is the AFC and NFC playoff picture, the official standings, and you see it on the bubble, out looking in. 7-6. The Steelers are out of the playoffs today. And it's unimaginable. Kurt Warner has come out and he has slammed this awful this putrid Steelers offense. Wow, what a tough watch. At Steelers O was last night. It's frustrating to watch. Had to be frustrating to play and coach. It was as if the Patriots knew what they were going to run and called really good coverage for it, and Pitt limited their options, allowing Pats to take a lot away. Yeah, I mean, that Hall of Fame quarterback just basically said the Patriots knew what was coming. I mean, you already fired the offensive coordinator. Matt Canada's gone, folks. Matt Canada's gone. George Pickens got destroyed the other night by Kirk Herbstreit. Destroyed. Quote, Tomlin had some choice words for Pickens. Pickens was really frustrated the other night. Yeah, he's just communicating how important it is for him to show some maturity and keep fighting, Kirk Herbstreit said. I mean, you've got what looks like an undisciplined team that's led by Mike Tomlin. That's unfathomable. But there is a little history there with that. Juju, sort of a malcontent. I mean, let's be real. Antonio Brown, shit, forget about it. I mean, there was stories coming out of Pittsburgh that Tomlin was covering for Antonio Brown's behavior behind the scenes for years. So is he really that strict? Herbstreit also suggested that Pickens' teammates would not be happy with the receiver's lack of effort on a play where he knew he was not getting the ball. Quote, he's kind of taking the play off. I think it sends a message to me, to your team. I look at receivers when it comes to their willingness to block and effort they're willing to put forth. He kind of represents the pulse of the team. Bad look. Look, that's nothing but making sure you draft the wrong players, not motivating them, and not holding them responsible when they're not following through with their duties. That's on Mike Tomlin. And look, guys, I did a video on it. Mika Fitzpatrick, an all-world defensive back on that team, he crushed his own teammates. And it was because of things like feeling entitled and that you're going to win without having to put forth effort just because you're wearing the black and gold. Well, guess what? That sounds a lot like Pickens right now, doesn't it? And no kidding, Pickens has got a ton of talent, so does Deontay Johnson. But man, sometimes on some of these plays, when I'm watching film, they look like straight trash, homie. They're lazy. It's absolutely crazy. And I understand you got Kenny Pickett and Mitchell Trubisky. Don't call me Mitch Trubisky out there throwing at quarterback. It doesn't matter. You're playing for the Steelers, where Hines Ward used to knock the heads off of defenders on blocks and was giving all-world effort. Not now, folks. Not now. This feels like a team like you see, and you see it right here, what this headline says from SI. Insider believes Steelers could fire Mike Tomlin at the end of this year. And what we talked about yesterday was sometimes some of these coaches, even the good ones, they lose their voice in the locker room, and their message becomes stale, and their look becomes stale in a franchise. It happened with Andy Reid in Philadelphia. And yeah, he left and won 2 Super Bowls. He's a Hall of Fame coach now. But it doesn't matter. It wasn't working anymore with the Eagles. And by the way, he left. Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. So it does work the other way around too. That's a bad look. That's a bad look. You're getting called out on Thursday Night Football's broadcast over crappy effort. That's on the coach. It is. That's saying we're letting them get away with something right now. Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's Ray Fittipaldo, I don't know if that's right or not, during an appearance on 93.7 The Fan, said there's a 50-50 shot the team will move on from Tomlin this offseason. Quote, I think there's a 50-50 chance. I mean, here, let's go through this, okay? Because I was thinking about it this morning. We'll know pretty soon after the season ends what direction Art Rooney II is going to go here, because if he does nothing and he brings him back for another year, and this is wild, folks. What do? You have to extend him. Because if you bring him back next year, you're seeing what I'm about to read. There's no reason to bring him back in 2024 as a lame duck head coach. You can't bring back, unless he's willing to come back as a lame duck, and it's mutual that they're going to part ways after next season. That's not what you do to a coach with his pedigree and a Super Bowl championship. You're not going to be able to go out there and get a good offensive coordinator. This is another great point. When the head coach is on a 1-year deal, basically. So you're either going to extend him or they're going to move on. And I think Art Rooney is at a crossroads here. And guys, there's going to be so many jobs open in the NFL and the coaching ranks. Tomlin may want out. Bears, Chargers. If you're the Chargers, Mike Tomlin paired with Justin Herbert, I mean, I don't know. That might be something you look at. Mike Tomlin will not be without a... Hell, Bill Belichick, they're probably going to... We talk about this a lot. They're probably going to mutually part ways with Bill Belichick, but it's going to be a behind-the-scenes mutual parting of the ways via a trade to another team. That's what can happen here with Tomlin as well. Okay? The Bears or whoever, I'm still saying the Buccaneers sounds rather interesting because they like veteran coaches, Bruce Arians, and he brings a lot of swag, a lot of that, almost that John Gruden scowl, Mike Tomlin, that attitude. Tampa Bay would probably be in because I think Todd Bowles is going to be done. Bears, Patriots. I mean, Robert Kraft may look at Tomlin and be like, He's only 51. Let me get a guy and bring him in here that can coach for another 10 to 12 to 15 years with my franchise. I don't know. This is getting worse and worse. Pickens thrown under the bus during Thursday night football. Lack of effort. Well, I mean, that people are going to start glancing at the coach when you hear lack of effort. Minka Fitzpatrick destroys players. Lack of effort. Lack of willingness. Entitledness. Once again, that's kind of a reflection. That's back on the coach. And it could be Tomlin has just run out of steam walking in the same building over and over and over again. You know, and that offensive coordinator point, it's a great point. You're not going to get a good offensive coordinator if Tomlin is a lame duck. Do you want to sign him for 3 to 5 more years? 6 more years? Is that what you want to do? I don't know. And I'm a Mike Tomlin fan, but I'm a Belichick fan too. And clearly, it's not working out anymore with New England. There's going to be a lot of jobs and a lot of owners that are willing to pay a lot of money for a guy like him. I guarantee you, because his age is a big, big deal. If Tomlin becomes available, him and Harbaugh are the two biggest names out there. Belichick would be if Belichick was 51 years old, or even Harbaugh, 59 years old. Wow. This is interesting. Kurt Warner calls you out. It's looking bad. It's looking bad. And we know the Steelers, they're looking for stability. And if you're the Steelers, you want all-world defense, you want an all-world running game, you want a great offensive and defensive line. Jim Harbaugh, I understand there's rumors, serious rumors, he's about to do an extension with Michigan. I don't think he wants to deal with the NC2A. Harbaugh and the Steelers? Tell me that doesn't sound interesting all of a sudden. And look, John Harbaugh, he was on course for this same kind of issue, but he's kicking ass again this year. So, I don't know, but he's been there a long time too in Baltimore. Peace, I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.